Pump is up 33% over the last 7 days. That's the name leading today's screen. Let's dig into what tripped the flag, then check in on the rest of the board. Let's grade yesterday's flags. Wins and misses. No cherry picking. BTW was the best call on the board, up 7.8% the next day. FGRS followed, adding 2.3%. APYUSD gained 1.6%. A 7A5 rose 0.3%, and cards ticked up 0.1%, both barely moving. Flat, M, sitting at 0.0%. XCN slipped 2.3%, a small loss. Now the two that didn't work out, Meta dropped 16.9%. And UB, which the screen had tagged as interesting, was the worst call in the group, down 38.4%. 5 names moved up, 1 was flat, 3 fell, and one of those falls was steep. That's the honest spread. Some flags played out, some didn't. Now the bigger picture. The Fear and Greed Index, a simple read of overall mood, sits at 27. That's fear. Bitcoin's share of the total crypto market, called dominance, is 56.6%. That's high, meaning money is sitting more in Bitcoin than spread across smaller coins. The whole market added just 0.66% over the last 24 hours, a quiet day. Bitcoin itself is at $64,205, up 0.94%. Ethereum is at $1,867.43, up 0.69%. Solana is at $73.95, up 0.82%. All three are green, but only just. One more gauge. Bitcoin's MVRV, a measure of price against the average cost basis of everyone holding it, is 1.22. That sits in the 17th percentile of its own history. The screen labels that zone value, meaning Bitcoin is cheap relative to its own past. Nothing here looks unusual today. Just a quiet, slightly green market. 3 coins stood out on today's screen. First, Pump, today's headline. It's up 11.7% over 24 hours and 33.2% over the week. Pump.fun is trending in search right now, and that lines up. The move looks tied to attention and chatter more than anything random. Then there's M. It wasn't today's hero, but it was the biggest mover on the whole board, jumping 66.7% in a day and nearly 80% over the week. Here's the catch. The amount being traded compared to its size is close to zero. That's the sign of a thin, illiquid coin. One where a small amount of buying can push the price a long way, fast. Now the flip side. UB fell 32.6% in a day, and that drop came on volume 3.6 times its normal weekly level. A move that size, with that much real trading behind it, points to actual selling. That's different from a quiet market just drifting down. 3 very different stories. One built on attention, one thin and jumpy. One, a real move down. No funding or positioning data showed up in today's screen. Nothing on how traders are leaning with borrowed money, nothing on futures contracts. When that data shows up, we'll cover it here. For now, we're skipping it rather than guessing. A quick word on what this screen actually does. It flags unusual moves in price and in how much is being traded. It doesn't know why those moves happened, and it can't tell you what happens next. Over the last 30 days, the screen's interesting or not call has matched what happened the following week 41% of the time. Here's what that actually covers. A coin flagged as interesting counts as correct if it moved at least 15% afterward. So does a coin left alone that stayed quiet. That's the actual definition. It doesn't mean flagged coins went up 41% of the time. Those are different claims, and only the first one is true. This is an observation about what the numbers did, not a recommendation about what to do with them. Some of today's flags will look smart in a week. Some won't. We won't know until we check. That's the honest limit of what a screen like this can tell you. This is observation and education, not financial advice. Do your own research. Every flag on this channel gets graded again tomorrow, in public. Wins and misses both. If you want to see how today's calls actually turn out, subscribe now. That's the first print.